Welcome back to Rohrich Knows Podcast, helping you become a better you. Well, what's so hot about new things in skincare? And the hot buzzword is exosomes. So let's find out what exosomes are and to sort out what these are and how they can be used as an innovative skin therapy program. I'm joined by Dr. Janine Hopkins, who's an amazing, innovative dermatologist here in Texas, Dallas, Texas, and also in Monroe, Louisiana. So Janine, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm great. How are you? Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. This is a huge honor for me.
It's great. And Janine is an amazing dermatologist. She's truly very, very innovative, and she's always at the cutting edge. And so we're going to talk today about exosomes. You know, I know they're a hot topic. People are putting them on their face. They're putting them on to grow hair. And then there's all kinds of studies that maybe it can be used in cardiac surgery and pulmonary surgery. And so tell me, what is an exosome?
Well, an exosome is considered just like a little messenger, something that has information in the envelope. And when it gets delivered and that envelope gets opened, the information inside gets implemented. So we're looking at these as a way to upregulate healing, either from wounds that we create in our office from things like microneedling, but also, using them in conjunction with other procedures to help improve the health and appearance. And in dermatology, we would be primarily talking about skin and or hair growth. Right. Yeah.
That's great. That's a great way to look at it. It's kind of the precursor that kind of tells people what to do at the microvascular level. And it's brilliant. But how do you know? I mean, are exosomes approved in the United States? Are they FDA approved?
Well, the first time I heard much about exosomes and actually read about exosomes was about 5 years ago. I was invited to lecture at a meeting in Barcelona, the Five Continental Congress, very wonderful international meeting, and I was literally assigned the topic of autologous cell therapy. So I started diving into the medical literature in Europe and internationally because that's where the meeting was being held. And that was the first time I read articles about exosome therapy. So it may be newer to the U.S., but not so much internationally. And it stems off of what we refer to as autologous cell therapy. So we're saying, okay, we're using platelet-rich plasma, which comes from the blood. You can get that done pretty much anywhere, venipuncture, get the blood, use the platelet-rich plasma, or stem cells, which are harder to harvest from, say, the fat level. And so the scientists were looking at other ways to get, this wound healing or this rejuvenating product without us having to always go to a human source, like getting the venipuncture or drawing the blood. So exosomes are not really new in regenerative medicine, but they're really making a splash in the U.S. right now because there are some companies who have introduced these into our U.S. Healthcare market. And right now the FDA is being a little reluctant on giving us a lot of approval with what to do with exosomes. They're wanting more data, they're wanting more proof and evidence. But yet we do have some companies who've done their research and have approved topical products for us to use.
Yes, it's actually in the cosmeceuticals, and and they're platelet-derived exosomes. Plated is one, and they've actually they're Mayo-based, and I think they're a very good company, and they actually have skincare products, for helping. They're basically almost like a skin booster to help augment everything that happens in the skin because it messengers to your skin and it potentiates all your other skincare products. And so how do you incorporate it into your practice, and what do you tell your patients?
Well, currently I've actually been doing a little more research and trying to make sure I'm going to have the best product for my patient. I always base my decisions on science. I want to see the articles, I want to read the research that was done on that exact product in the formula. And one thing that we have to be really cautious about is, and this is what the FDA is concerned about as well, what is the source? Where are we getting these exosomes? So they're usually derived from umbilical cord, bone marrow. So we're taking this tissue, human tissue, that has to go through all this screening and this sterilizing, and we get these little end products out. So you're right. Rion is one of the companies that's worked with the Mayo Clinic, who's been doing research on this for quite a while. And they were one of the first ones to bring a skincare product to the market that was approved for use topically, again, as a cosmeceutical. Anti-Age is another company, and I'm very excited about what they're doing. Anti-Age just came out with vials of exosomes. It has a lot of really good research. They're bone marrow derived. And they've got articles and proof in the science that, these can be used in conjunction with some of the procedures we perform, where we are doing treatments like microneedling or fractionated laser resurfacing. And we can, use some wound boosting or skin boosting treatments like these exosomes, and also hair growth. Of course, hair loss and hair restoration is a big deal. And exosomes may play a very important role in that. So I feel confident with some of the data and science I've read from the Anti-Age company as well as Plated. But we do have to be careful. One thing that's most important is, are we actually getting active ingredient once it is applied? And so that's where, you want to differentiate between skincare companies that are just the Me Too's, but they don't have the research to prove it.
Right.
And ones done their homework.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think when I look at exosomes, I look at where it's derived consistently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know the two companies well that you talked about, and I'm a little more familiar with Rion, since we've actually done, in full disclosure, we've done some research with them, and they're platelet derived, and I think it's a very unique, patented way of doing it that gives you consistency. And they've actually done work in hair as well as in skin modulation and stuff. And I think it's a very good potentiator in skincare, and I think it's very safe. And obviously, the next steps will be how you incorporate it into other modalities, microneedling and things, which of course then gets into a whole more invasive technique and technology way beyond cosmeceuticals. And of course, in cardiac surgery and other places, they're using exosomes to potentiate wound healing, muscle proliferation, and regeneration. So it's exciting. I mean, it's kind of like the messenger for stem cells. And of course, we can't ever use the word stem cells with the FDA because it gets everybody going. But I think it's actually an innovative autologous way to restore skin health. And I think it's the big thing is we have to make sure it works and it's safe.
Exactly. And I think the new phase, bio-mimetic, is a term to remember, because that means that we're not going to have to get these exosomes derived from human tissue. We're not going to have to do the umbilical cord or the platelets, or we're not even going to have to do bone marrow. They're going to be able to make it in the lab. So it's going to bio-mimetic. It's going to look identical to what would be otherwise human derived, but it's going to be non-human. It's going to be made in a lab. And I kind of compare that, you probably remember like I do, because we've been doing this for quite a while now, when the first hyaluronic gel filler came out, and it was called Captique. And it was derived from the rooster comb. And the poor roosters, bless them, they had to get, the little comb taken off. And then we grind it down. We'd inject it into knees for arthritic joints. And in dermatology, we'd inject lines and wrinkles with it. And then after a while, the scientists are like, you know what, forget that. Leave the roosters alone. We can actually make HA in our lab. It's going to look just like the natural stuff. So, so that is, basically how medicine, thankfully, and science evolves. The scientists get super smart and they figure out how to make it. So biomimetic exosomes, I think, are going to make us all feel a lot better about putting it on or using it, because it's going to be derived from a lab that just makes these things look identical. They've got the right message. They don't have bad messages. I think that's another thing that FDA is definitely concerned about. Are we delivering exosomes that could give us a bad message and make us do bad things internally? Like, could we upregulate something? We were just talking about skin cancer. So we don't want to upregulate anything that could be harmful. We only want to upregulate the good part of the tissue healing process. And I know the science will work it out. But right now we are in a little bit of that, hot topic on something relatively new in the U.S. But I would say be cautious. Right now, the FDA is definitely telling us not to inject these things.
Well, and yet I definitely agree. Don't Don't be doing that. I mean, it's a topical, and it's you know, it's been used for skin care, and I think there's a lot of innovative techniques going on and a lot of studies going on. I think you're right. I mean, the bioengineering of all of these is going to be so much better because it'll be more predictable, more consistent, and safe. And I think the bioengineering of exosomes, you know, platelet-rich growth factor, all these things are going to be worked out because right now they have to be sourced. And honestly, if you don't know the company and the reputation of the company, you can get into a lot of trouble. Yeah. So that's why it's important to work with people. So I think, give us your 3 take-home points for the consumer when they're looking at getting exosomes. I mean, we've talked about Plated and other companies, which I think are very reputable. But tell us about the 3 take-home points that you want the viewer to know.
Well, I think as in regards to exosomes, you again want to go to, you know, your trusted healthcare professional that, you know, hopefully has extensive knowledge on what's going on in science regarding exosomes and stem cells and platelet-rich plasma. I would say be leery of clinics that are you know, offering products where they're even saying they can inject exosomes, because we know the FDA is not on board with that.
No, don't do that.
But other take-home message is, you know, it's exciting. I think we're looking more in the future at preventing disease than just treating it. And I do think that exosomes are going to be part of that in our future, that, you know, before we even get old, wrinkled, sun-damaged, skin cancer-prone skin, we can hopefully prevent that by using some of this innovative science that's coming down our pipeline.
Great. Yep, fantastic advice from Dr. Janine Hopkins in Dallas, Texas, and in Monroe, Louisiana. So thank you very much for sharing that with us, and we'll look forward to having you back soon. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep. So give us your comments and thoughts about exosome therapy. Know before you go. Be safe out there.